So, first of all, thank you so much for talking with us. I'm with the Charlotte Area Association of Black Journalists. I also work radio at Praise Charlotte. And then I'm
Yes.
doing WCCB as a freelancer. But the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with you, Chief, is just so exciting for everyone.
Yeah, the pleasure is all mine. I'm loving it.
Well, first of all, welcome home.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so you're a native Charlottean. I bet it is. Where did you go to high school? You have to ask that
Well,
question.
I'm not a native of Charlotte like most people in Charlotte.
Okay.
But I've lived in Charlotte for about 30 years now, a little bit over 30 years. And so originally born overseas because my father was in the military,
Okay.
but California's home, Northern California.
Okay, well, that's relatable. My husband's from California, and I always call it the left coast. But the
Yes.
fact that you have returned back to a city after being in Raleigh, and the city has changed even over 4 years. What does that feel like?
Oh, first of all, it feels great.
Okay.
It feels natural. It feels like this is the place I'm supposed to be. And I will say that I loved Raleigh. The Raleigh community really embraced me when I went there. I learned so much being there, being in the capital city. And so I will always say I love my Raleigh family. But Charlotte just feels right to me. This is home. This is where it started with my law enforcement career. This is where I grew up as a police officer. So it just feels good to be back home.
And when you say law enforcement career, you 25 years in and almost 30 years of public service. That's a really almost a lifetime for some people.
It is.
And you're still very young.
So, yes, I don't know about these old bones. They're
Yeah.
kind of feeling it a little bit. But yes, 25 years here at CMPD and then 3.5 years in Raleigh.
Well, you mentioned Raleigh. You had quite a bit of success there. Even I saw where you guys picked up an award that brought in a lot of more resources. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, and I have to say that the team that I had there was terrific, wonderful, and the community was very supportive. And so we were named a PSP, a Public Safety Partnership City, and that was an opportunity for us to bring technical resources, grants, that kind of thing to the city to help address violent crime. Not that Raleigh had a lot of violent crime, but it was just the opportunity for us to expand on some of the resources we had, to get training for our personnel so that we can continue to keep that crime down.
Well, you were able to accomplish so much there. And so now we get you back, and we're looking for great things as well. A lot of people want to talk about the crime that's in our city.
Sure.
And we've made some headlines recently, especially around the light rail. Well, how would you address that?
Mm-hmm. So, there's a couple prongs to this. I mean, I say first and foremost, when we look at the numbers, violent crime and property crime is down in Charlotte, and we're very pleased. We're very happy. I think it's a combination of all our partners working together to do that, not just CMPD, but other law enforcement as well as community partners. But it's certainly top of mind with recent things that have happened in the news and that we're seeing across the city. And so our approach, as I'm coming in the door and I'm learning, have to relearn Charlotte and just really get acclimated with everything going on. But my approach to it is firstly is to make sure that that we're using all the resources to our disposal, right? So that we're partnering with our other law enforcement partners, we're partnering with our community partners. I have seen success with that, and I think that is the way that we have to approach it. Just last week, we kicked off our Operation Safe Season in our Uptown area. The footprint is Uptown to kind of South End. And that was successful. We had over 200 traffic stops, 100 and something citations. We made arrests of felons. I think that's where it starts. Again, that was a multi-agency collaboration that we did. Now, the light rail was not part of that footprint, and that's where we did have an incident occur. But we have increased security. We're working very closely with CATS. We have our private security that is on the trains and on the platforms. We have CMPD supplementing that. We're going to continue to do that. We're also going to use technology because we want to work smarter, not harder necessarily. And we know that technology can have those extra eyes and ears in that area. So we'll continue those efforts as I continue to assess and see what the city has here and what we need to do. But we are very concerned because I want every resident, visitor, citizen within this community to feel safe, that they can ride the light rail and not be concerned about, tragedy or anything happen, or that they can just walk around in their neighborhoods and be safe as well.
So, Chief Patterson, you mentioned the operation one weekend, and you come out kicking the door open. Let's go with this operation. But we also know oftentimes, let's kind of talk about some of the, policies or things that we hear in the community.
Sure.
You already mentioned community. How do you look to build community relations? Because there's always a little bit of tension there.
Yes.
So how, and let me also add, we know CMPD has done a good job with that.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I was going to say. We have a history, we have a culture of collaborating with the community. I came up in that. So that's all that I know. You're going to see me being very forward facing out in the community quite a bit, talking with our leaders, talking with our residents, talking with our HOAs, our neighborhoods and such, because that is so important. We're going to continue to do that, but I think we're going to do it on a higher level with all aspects of our community. We have so many different demographics within Charlotte, and we want to make sure we're touching all of them to let them know that we're here to serve them. Right? It's about service. It's about protecting our community. Again, CMPD has always done that. We have a strong culture of doing that, and so we'll continue.
So a little bit more increased visibility when it comes
Yes.
around community relations. What about accountability?
Oh.
Another conversation that comes.
Yeah, that's key. I'm very transparent. As a leader, I don't think you could be any other way. If we're going to ask the community to trust us, they have to know that we will share the good, bad, or indifferent with them. And I'm willing to do that. And I have a history of that. If there's an officer-involved shooting, I always petition the release of the cameras. Now, the one caveat to that is if there is a time that I can't, I will tell you that I can't. And I will give you a reason if I'm able to do that. I just believe that we have to communicate, we have to be transparent, and we have to hold ourselves accountable. Accountability starts with me.
Yes.
As the leader of this agency, it is me first, and then it just flows down to all aspects of the organization.
Well, resources, budgets are tight. Some more resources. I'm sure you're looking forward to receiving those and using them in a way that benefits the department.
Yes, and the resources comes from everywhere. I'm one of those people that, we petition the state to help us pay for things. We also look to any private partnerships that we can have. We were successful with that in Raleigh. I mean, we started our police foundation in Raleigh, modeled it after CMPD, and they were able to raise a substantial amount of money to help buy resources and equipment and that kind of thing. And so we're always looking to whoever will partner with us throughout our community to support police, support what we're doing, and help us to fund those things that sometimes my budget can't fund.
Chief Patterson, a trailblazer, first woman, first Black woman to lead this agency. What does that feel like? A lot of pressure or not so much?
It certainly feels good. I am honored to be able to do that. I know that I get to be an example for young girls who think that you can never accomplish this. Mm-hmm. So while I'm grateful for that, I also say too, it's not about that, right? That's not the focus for me. The focus is making sure that I take care of this community and that they are safe and that we do the work that we need to do so that everybody can feel safe. But certainly, being a first, it feels really good.
What does success look like for you?
Success for me is three things. One, that we build morale within the organization. And for me, that means getting to 0 vacancies or very close to it. We have quite a few vacancies across the organization, and that means we can't adequately do the work that we need to do for the community. So I want to build morale by closing that gap and getting to 0 as much as possible. Also, to continuing to build relationships with our community. Ideally, success for me is if we were to have an instant, something happen in our city where there's some kind of civil unrest. I want the majority of the city to be on the side of the police to say, we support you and we're going to stand here with you. That is success to me. And then lastly, reducing the violent crime, getting our violent crime numbers down and the perception of crime. We want people to feel safe.
And perception is really important because oftentimes what people perceive to be reality is not necessarily what it is. So as we start to wrap things up, I want to, and it may put you on the spot, but there's a thing with young people. It's like the top 10 things they can't live without. What if I ask you the top 5 things you could not live without?
Just personally,
whatever.
Okay, the number one thing I cannot live without is my faith.
Okay.
Knowing that, my faith is so important to me, my trust in God, knowing that He has appointed me for such a time as this and that I have an assignment to do. So I can't live without that. Prayer, knowing that people are there for me and praying for me. I cannot live without that. Cannot live without my San Francisco 49ers. Oh. So my dream job was, when I retired back in March, I was going to go to Santa Clara, California, and coach the 49ers to make sure they make it to the Super Bowl. Well, we see that didn't happen. Right. But I can't live without my 49ers. I really love, shouts out to my 49ers. The third thing I say I can't live without, of course, is my family. My husband, my mom, my dad, all my family, my brothers and sisters, they've all been there for me. They have supported me greatly, so my family can't live without that. Can't live without my law enforcement family as well. And that is across the spectrum. Last week we saw where people from Raleigh came, Fayetteville, Greensboro. So I like that connection. That is really good. And probably the last thing
Number
I
5.
can't live without, I think it's going to be Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
Oh, come on now.
I love butter pecan
Oh,
Haagen-Dazs, but I got to limit it. I can't have that much sugar all the time, but
Right.
that is something I can't learn.
Chief Patterson, it's been a pleasure to talk with you, and thank you so
Same
much.
here.
And we are wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you greatly.
Oh, thanks for having us.